Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you the best agentic coding setup out there hands down, and I've literally tried all of the other tools before I came to this conclusion. With this setup you can always use the latest features and models immediately, unlike with apps such as Cursor or Conductor. You'll also be able to handle prompts easily, even in the terminal, while saving on token cost. You can also manage different work trees and projects simultaneously without jumping between apps. I'll also be showing you some of my insanely useful extensions and apps which take agentic coding to the next level. I'm 100% sure you'll learn a few new things in this video that you haven't seen anywhere else. So basically, I just use VS Code, not Cursor, not Conductor, nothing else. VS Code is the best way to manage your agents. The reason is you have source control, you have tabs here for the terminals. You can split them however you want. You also have files, so you can work on your MD files here. You can maximize, for example, this one, work on this MD. I can even preview the MD. There's a lot of extensions like this. You can basically do all of the work that's related to the agent in one place. I forgot to mention that you could do whatever I'm showing in the video using Cursor or Anti-Gravity or any of those other editors instead of VS Code, but I personally recommend sticking to VS Code because it's much more stable. It has way more extensions in the store. It gets all of the fixes and features first, like for example the work trees features I will show in this video. The other tools are forks, so they basically need to rebase all of their work on top of the code from VS Code whenever a new version comes out from VS Code, which is becoming much slower these days since Cursor is focusing on the agent panel and all of those kind of things. I had a bug with Cursor that was fixed in VS Code months ago, but it's still happening in Cursor until now. So it's just not a very pleasant experience to work with a buggy editor like that. And I highly recommend just skipping the middleman and going directly to Anthropic or OpenAI to buy your subscription directly from them, since you will get the best rate that way. I use the CLIs, not the extensions, because the extensions are always way behind in terms of features, which really sucks. So for example, this one now has the plan mode, as you can see here, which came out like 3 days ago, while if you go here, you can't find the command for plan. It's not there yet, and I don't know when it's going to come. So yeah, I really don't recommend using the extensions these days. Maybe later in the future if the CLIs slow down. But now, in this phase that we're in, like they're shipping features super quickly. Like if I go to release notes, you can see on Claude they're shipping almost every day or every 2 days they are shipping more features. So yeah, just stick to the CLI and it's not that hard. There are some advantages to the CLI also, which are, for example, that you can just split, you can split as much as you want the CLI and you can have multiple going on. And also, because I'm using the CLI, there's a great way to look to see what's going on in the background. It's just working for Claude now for now, but I'll see if I can make it work for Codex later. But if I have, for example, something running in the background here in one of the background tabs, you can see that there is like an indicator that something is going on or something is loading on this side. You know what I mean? Once it's done, then it shows this. Also, I have multiple projects at the same time, so I can write some prompts here and go back here. For that, to see across all of my projects what's going on, I have this tool that lets me see all of the different projects that I have running, Linear Enhancer, SP3, Agent Manager, and each of them has something running. And this one, for example, it stopped 4 minutes ago, this one 1 minute ago, so it's telling me what's going on with all of the agents that are running on my PC. And what I can do is just click. It takes me to that project. See here.
Clean the cargo build cache to fix stale path references.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you heard that, but I also have in the agent manager, I have here a feature. Either it's in bell mode or in speech mode, text to speech mode, and you can just install it by clicking install here, and it will install, I think, the best voice notifications implementation for Claude Code. I will make it work with Codex later, but basically it just reads a summary of what changed. So for now, for example, it says clean the cargo build cache to fix stale path references. You see that? Oh, this one I really need to get rid of, so I'm just going to close it. There's a bug with Codex, it looks like. So here, if I click Codex, you can see it closes the stuff related to Codex. I can click here to end the sessions that have been stale for more than 10 minutes. Just click this and it ends them. which saves RAM actually. I can click here to close idle sessions. So yeah, there's like, I will fix this. I will fix Codex for sure. It's still under works and it's not playing nice in this video recording. Anyways, cool. So yeah, and there's a lot of themes for this tool that you can try. I actually took the idea from someone on GitHub and took some code from them. I will mention them in the comments. They're really, really awesome idea, I think. But I made it my own. I added a ton of features to this, vibe coding on this Tauri app. But it's not super hard to improve this. So whoever wants to contribute to mine or to the original, it's all good. Um, yeah. Also, another thing is like, for example, you could bind a hotkey to show and hide this. For me, I bound it to command space, but you can put whatever you want. And this just lets me, whatever I'm doing, if I want to see what the agents are doing, I just do this hotkey, and I can read what's happening here, what's happening with this guy, and I can jump to them and reply, type something, and then go back. Yeah. So that's basically how it works. Now, the other thing is, I always like to have the session ID here. I will just give you a prompt to add this status line for Claude Code. What this lets me do is just do this and paste, and then I will resume whatever session I was in before. So I can just do and resume this conversation. I think the terminal is not as hard as it seems after using it for a few months now. One more thing that I really like to do is I do Control+G, and this lets me edit my prompts in a, let's say, a larger area. So if I have a long prompt, I edit it here. And the other thing is I could ask AI to improve this prompt. So for example, I could say modify, and I can tell it to make this more concise. Whatever you want to do, you can just send it to the agent that you have on your editor, whether it's Cursor or VS Code or whatever agent that you have, and then you can accept the edit, and it's easier to play around with the plans text. It's better to use plan mode if you want to actually like have the agent understand the code and then modify the text. But if you just want to modify the text, then this works very well. It's Control+G, but you still have to add something in your zshrc to make it work with the editor that you're using. So you need to and then here in this folder there's something called zshrc. So for me, I just type this to open it in the editor, and then here you need to add these lines here, just paste them, and this will make code your default editor for the terminal. In case you want to use cursor, just write cursor, Vim, you can do whatever you want. But for me, it's code, which is VS Code. There's also these tabs at the top here, which you can get by just doing native tabs. Just enable this, and you get the native tabs at the top. These are very, very useful to jump between projects and have everything in one place without having to alt tab and stuff like that. I use Claude Code for specific things and Codex GPT 5.2 high or X high for other things. So most of the time I'm on Claude Code. I pay for the max plan. It's very good for most programming work, like 90% of the work it can do it pretty good, I guess. It's still not as polished output as Codex, but it does the job for most projects. But if I want to fix something that is very complicated and that Claude Code cannot manage to fix, then I just have the $20 Codex plan, and I use GPT 5.2 for those kind of issues. So if I do Codex, you can see here I have, like, for example, I do plan mode, and I write the program here. Sometimes I ask Claude to describe whatever it couldn't solve or something like that, like to write the prompt that I paste here in Codex. And Codex usually, especially this model, you go to the models and picker and pick extra high. This one is like for very, very complex issues. It takes some time, but it's really smart. So I highly recommend this model if you are struggling with specific issues here and there. But for most work, Opus does the job. It's also a great model and much faster than the GPT 5.2 Codex. Especially the high and X high, those are like smart but very slow. One more thing that I can share in the zshrc, you can add your own aliases here. You can see, so for example, C opens Claude for me. I have G for Gemini, CDX for Codex. You can add these aliases, and they're very, very useful, to speed up your work. So you don't need to type Claude every time, just type C and it gets you. So CR will open the session picker so you can resume a session. That's also very useful. Another thing is I have this DevTools extension that I made that lets me look at previous conversations and understand why Claude is doing some mistakes or understand what system messages Claude is receiving behind the scenes. Let's see here. So for example, here you can see the thinking, exactly what the agent is seeing and understand more about what's going on behind the scenes. So here you can see this system reminder coming from Claude Code CLI itself to the model. So here it says whenever you read a file, you should consider whether it would be considered malware. You can and should provide analysis of malware, what it's doing, but you must refuse to improve or augment the code. So these kind of small tidbits you can see in this tool that I will share also. And I manage my config for Claude here using this extension. It's called Claude Code config. I modified it to add skills and a few things and did a PR. Let's see if the guy merges it. But anyways, I will share it in the description below. So you can see I have some of my commands here. I have other commands for other projects, but these are the global ones. Let's say I don't have that many. I'm moving more to using skills more often these days, but for some reason they're not showing here. So I probably need to update the tool to pick up the skills better. Yeah, that's in general what I do, how I use the agents. I'm just like jumping between, I'm shooting off an agent here, going to another project, the agent manager to see if I have agents running or not, and I can jump between them by just clicking on the different projects here in the agent manager. Also, something very, very important is work trees. So whenever you have two agents or three agents working on the same code base, you always have them stepping on each other's feet and blocking each other from working. So what you can do is just create a work tree. So here in another thing I really like about VS Code, why I think it's the best, is they added this feature to create work trees in the GUI. So you don't need to run the commands or whatever. You can just go here, create a new branch. So call this task one, okay? And then it will create it right next to the original repo. And then you can click here to open this. And then you can start working. So you can just launch an agent and start working. And what's going to happen is all of the work that's being done here is completely separate from the original repo. And then what you can do is after you're done, just tell it merge your code against main into main, let's say, or whatever you say here. And that's it. It will solve the merge conflict. It will figure out how to like collect all of the work onto main from the different work trees that you have. And once you're done with the work tree, you can just go back here, right click and delete the work tree. And it's just 2 clicks, you know. I really love the workflow with work trees in VS Code. So this is another thing that I highly recommend trying. Maybe in the next video, I'm going to talk about Ralph loops, how to use beads, how I let it work while I'm sleeping, things like that. But I think they're not super important. I'm covered all of the main things that I wanted to share for this first video, and I hope you learned a few things here and there. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more. Please also comment your favorite tip below.